What if everything you've been taught about manifestation is backwards? What if the very effort you're putting in is actually pushing your desires further away? From the moment we're born, we're conditioned to believe that anything valuable requires struggle, sacrifice, and relentless effort. This programming runs so deep that when we enter the world of manifestation, we carry this same exhausting mindset. We're told to visualize harder, repeat affirmations hundreds of times, chase signs from the universe, and endlessly work on our vibration. But here's the question that changes everything. If manifestation is truly quantum, rooted in the fundamental laws that govern reality at its deepest level, why would it require exhaustion? Why would the universe, built on principles of coherence, harmony, and elegant simplicity, demand such complexity from us? The truth is both revolutionary and liberating. Manifestation is not complicated at all. In fact, it's so elegantly simple that our rational minds reject it entirely. We've been conditioned to believe that if it's simple, it can't be real. And this single belief has been the invisible barrier blocking your quantum breakthrough. Let me share an analogy that will completely shift how you think about manifestation. Imagine you want to listen to your favorite song on the radio. Do you need to rebuild the radio station? Do you beg the music to play? Do you repeat commands over and over until the signal finally comes through? Of course not. You simply tune to the right frequency, and instantly, the music is there. The radio station was broadcasting all along, whether you struggled or not, whether you begged or not, whether you believed you deserved it or not. This is exactly how the quantum field operates. All possible realities are already broadcasting. Every dream, every desire, every timeline you've ever imagined already exists in the field of infinite potential. You don't create these realities from scratch. You don't fight for them or chase after them like they're running away from you. You simply tune into them. But here's where most people get stuck. Because we've been taught that results come from struggle, we completely overlook the elegant simplicity of tuning. Instead, we keep spinning the dial frantically, never resting long enough to actually hear the song that's already playing. Now, before you dismiss this as wishful thinking, let me ground this in actual science. Quantum mechanics has revealed something extraordinary through experiments like the famous double-slit experiment. Reality doesn't collapse into form until it's observed. This means that potentiality exists everywhere, always, until consciousness interacts with it. What does this mean for your life? Manifestation isn't about forcing reality into existence through sheer willpower. It's about aligning yourself so completely with your desired outcome that reality has no choice but to reveal what you're already embodying. Think about that for a moment. You're not creating something new. You're revealing what already exists. But most people get trapped in what I call the overdoing trap. They affirm, but with underlying doubt. They visualize, but with impatience bubbling underneath. They take action, but it comes from fear rather than alignment. All of this noise creates what quantum physicists call decoherence, mixed signals that confuse the field. The universe isn't confused, though. It's actually incredibly precise. It simply mirrors back exactly what you're broadcasting: confusion, doubt, and lack. Let me tell you about Sarah, a client who perfectly illustrates this principle. She spent 2 years trying to manifest her dream job. She created vision boards, wrote in manifestation journals, said affirmations every morning and night, and visualized her ideal work life in vivid detail. Yet nothing changed. Month after month, year after year, the same opportunities that didn't quite fit kept appearing, or nothing appeared at all. Why? Because every single action she took was loaded with the underlying vibration of "I don't have it yet." The harder she tried, the more she reinforced the reality of absence. Her energy was constantly announcing to the field, "I'm still waiting. I'm still lacking, I'm still hoping this will work. But the shift happened in a single moment when she finally stopped the struggle. One morning, she made a radical decision. She would act as if it was already done. She woke up, dressed as though she was preparing for her first day at her new job, and walked through her entire day with the quiet certainty of someone already living that reality. No affirmations. No visualizations, no checking job boards obsessively. Just pure embodiment. Within 2 weeks, an opportunity she never could have imagined arrived through a connection she'd forgotten she even had. The external world hadn't changed, her vibration had. She stopped broadcasting lack and tuned directly into the frequency of fulfillment. This is the secret that most manifestation teachers overlook because it feels too simple to package and sell. But the field doesn't respond to effort. It responds to coherence. So what exactly is coherence? In quantum physics, coherence describes how particles or waves synchronize, moving together as one unified system. When particles vibrate in harmony, they amplify each other's energy and create incredibly powerful, predictable outcomes. This is what makes lasers so powerful. Light waves aligned in perfect coherence can cut through steel, while the exact same light scattered incoherently becomes nothing more than a dim glow. Now imagine your thoughts, emotions, and body as those light waves. When they're scattered, fragmented, or in conflict with each other, the signal you send to the quantum field is weak and inconsistent. The field receives mixed messages and responds with mixed results. But when your thoughts, emotions, and body are aligned, when your mind, heart, and physical being are all broadcasting the same frequency, you generate a laser-like field that reality simply cannot ignore. This isn't abstract theory. The HeartMath Institute has extensively studied how the human heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body, radiating several feet outward. When the heart and brain achieve coherence, when their rhythms synchronize, the body functions more efficiently, and the electromagnetic signal becomes stable and clear. Dr. Joe Dispenza has documented how individuals who achieve heart-brain coherence experience remarkable shifts. Their brain waves move into gamma frequencies associated with heightened awareness. Their bodies show accelerated healing, and they report synchronicities that seem to defy logical explanation. What mystics have always known, science is now confirming. Coherence within translates to influence without. The more aligned your inner state, the more effortlessly the outer world organizes around you. Here's where it gets psychologically interesting. When people first hear that manifestation can be this simple, their conditioned minds immediately translate it as, "So you're saying I should just sit on my couch, do nothing, and wait for magic to happen?" This reveals the deep programming we carry. We've been taught to equate worth with effort, value with struggle, and results with sacrifice. But the quantum field operates on entirely different principles. Simplicity doesn't mean laziness, it means aligned action. In quantum mechanics, energy naturally follows the path of least resistance. Rivers don't struggle to carve through valleys. Electricity doesn't wrestle with itself to find a circuit. Light doesn't argue with itself before traveling. Energy simply flows where there's openness, coherence, and resonance. The same principle applies to your desires. They are energy already coded into the quantum field. The less resistance you carry, the simpler your vibration becomes, and the faster the field aligns to reflect your chosen reality. Now let's make this practical. There are 3 subtle but powerful shifts that can collapse timelines faster than years of traditional effort. The first shift is choosing clarity over control. Most manifestation suffering comes from the obsession with controlling the how. How will it happen? When will it happen? Who will bring it? These questions seem practical, but they're actually signals of doubt. In quantum physics, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle shows us that the more we try to pin down a particle's behavior, the more we disturb its natural state. The same applies to your desires. The more you micromanage the process, the more you destabilize the coherence that would naturally bring your desire to you. Clarity means holding the vision of what you want, not as a future wish, but as an existing reality, and then trusting the field's infinite intelligence to orchestrate the details. The second shift is dropping the timeline. Time is one of the greatest illusions that sabotages manifestation. When you say I need this by next month, or this must happen by my birthday, you're tying infinity to a calendar. But the quantum field doesn't work by deadlines, it works by readiness. In quantum physics, superposition means all possibilities exist simultaneously until collapsed by observation. Your desired reality already exists, it doesn't need to be built. It only needs to be selected. The timeline collapses the moment your inner state matches your desire, not when an arbitrary date arrives. Your readiness is the trigger, not your schedule. The third shift is trusting your first alignment. Here's one of the most overlooked truths. The first time you felt the spark of a desire, that was enough. That initial thought combined with emotion sent a complete quantum command into the field. When you repeat your request endlessly, you're not amplifying coherence, you're broadcasting uncertainty. You're essentially saying, maybe the field didn't hear me. Maybe I need to push harder, but the quantum always hears the first alignment. The challenge isn't to keep asking. It's to stay in resonance with what you've already requested. Think of it like a radio again. You don't keep shouting at the station to play your song. You tune once and keep listening. If you keep turning the dial every few seconds, you lose the signal entirely. Here's a truth that might bend your mind. The timeline you desire isn't something you're building from scratch. It already exists. In fact, you've already tuned into it many times. Those fleeting moments of absolute certainty. Those brief flashes where you felt it's already done. The problem is that most people tune out just as quickly as they tune in. They feel the beautiful simplicity of alignment. Then their mind interrupts with, it can't be this easy, and in that very moment, the signal is lost. The quantum field isn't withholding anything from you. It's simply mirroring your vibration in real time. Your desired reality is waiting, but it only responds when you decide to stay tuned. Quantum mechanics teaches us about infinite, parallel realities where every possible outcome already exists in what physicists call superposition. From a manifestation perspective, this means you're not waiting for your dream to be created. You're simply aligning with the timeline where it already exists. Neville Goddard called this living from the end. Joe Dispenza speaks of tuning into a new frequency. Physicist David Bohm described reality as an implicate order, everything already unfolded, waiting to unfold when observed with coherence. Different words, same truth. You're not manifesting something new. You're remembering what's already true. When you truly accept that your desired timeline already exists, everything changes. You stop asking when will it happen and start affirming it is happening. You stop strategizing endless ways to get there and instead embody the energy of being there. This isn't passive daydreaming, it's active resonance. Your timeline doesn't require your force. It requires your permission. And permission comes through surrender. Every time you release the need to control, you step closer to the frequency of your higher self, the version of you that already holds the reality you're longing for. Why does this work? Because coherence collapses probability into actuality. Imagine your energy field as a tuning fork. Every desire you've ever had is another fork vibrating in the quantum field. When you align, you strike the fork of your desired timeline, and instantly the two resonate. You don't need to run around hitting every fork in the room. You just need to hold one vibration long enough for resonance to build. Here's the beautiful paradox: the easier you allow it to be, the faster it arrives. That's why mystics throughout history taught detachment. Not detachment from desire itself, but detachment from control, timelines, and excessive effort. You're not meant to chase reality like prey. You're meant to invite it by becoming the frequency. It naturally responds to dot. It's like gravity. You don't beg gravity to pull an apple from a tree. You simply wait until the vibration within the fruit matches the pull of the earth, and the apple falls naturally. Your manifestation works the same way. Now pause and reflect on your own life. How many times did something finally work out only after you stopped trying so hard? That wasn't coincidence. That was quantum law in action. Every surrender was a micro-manifestation. Every moment you let go of control, the universe had room to deliver. By now, you can feel it, not just as an idea, but as an energy moving through you. Something has clicked, something has shifted. Because the truth is, quantum manifestation has never been about trying harder, chasing faster, or proving yourself worthy. It's always been about remembering. Remembering that your desired reality isn't waiting to be built in some distant future. It already exists now, right here, vibrating in the quantum field, patiently waiting for you to say yes. Right now, take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you want, and simply whisper to yourself, "It is already done." Feel that sentence in your body. Speak it with conviction. Let it become a quantum command. You're not waiting anymore. You're not hoping anymore. You're declaring resonance. And the moment you declare it with your whole being, you step into it. That's the entire shift. That's why manifestation feels so mysterious to so many, because they complicate what is meant to be effortless. The quantum field doesn't need your effort. It needs your coherence. The field isn't testing you. It isn't holding back. It's responding right now to who you're being. You don't have to wait. You don't have to chase. You just have to become. Less effort, more resonance. Less asking, more being. When you live this way, life itself becomes a continuous quantum jump, moment by moment, reality by reality, until you realize you were never separate from what you desired. You were only asleep to it. And now you're awake. So keep this frequency alive, revisit it daily. Speak it into existence, and let the universe handle the details. Because everything you want is already in motion, and it's moving faster than you think. Remember, you're not waiting for your reality. Your reality is waiting for you.